Just let me. Okay. Okay, Andra, can you confirm that you can see the presentation, please?
Yes, all okay, yes.
Okay, perfect. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here today for this presentation of Lisbon. I see there are many people who joined us in previous presentations and joining us today, and there are new people joining us today also. So I thank you all, Andra and Ivy. Thank you all for joining us today, where we are going to take you on a virtual tour to Lisbon, a city that I love a lot. I'm gonna be telling you more about it in a bit. First of all, I'm gonna introduce myself really quickly. It's only gonna take a minute. So just here I put a picture of my family to the upper left, because it's thanks to my sisters and to my parents that I got to reach where I am now. Actually, thanks to all their encouragement. I studied to be an interior designer in the beginning back in 2006 in Lebanon. And then I went to Paris in 2009, where I did 2 years of interior design, and came back to Lebanon in 2012, where I worked in interior design for about 4 years. And then in 2018, I went back to France, and now I am in Bordeaux, not in Paris. I studied digital marketing, and at the time I am working at Cité du Vin, which is a huge wine museum. And at the same time, I'm also working with a tourism website called Informa Giovani Italia. So basically what I do is that I do guided tours for Italians who visit Bordeaux for about 2 hours or 2 hours and a half in Italian, of course. So what are the things that I like the most, or that I'm so passionate about? Just tell you quickly. I love storytelling. I love public speaking. This is why I love doing all these presentations. I love to discuss life and many subjects with many people. So I have friends all over the world with whom I call, and we discuss lots of subjects for many hours. I love traveling and solo traveling, reading and writing poems. I have a website where I write some of my poems, some of my small stories. I love organizing events also. In Lebanon, I was the organizer of the couch surfing community, if you heard about it. So I used to organize lots of cultural exchange, language exchange, hangouts for tourists who arrived to Lebanon for about 2 years. And when I came to Bordeaux, I passed from couch surfing to Internations. Meditation and spirituality is something, it's a passion that I have. I'm going to be having some events about it later this month to talk more in depth about my journey with spirituality. And also, I'm someone who, whenever I travel, I consider myself more of a traveler than a tourist, because I'm always seeking the hidden gems in every city. Like, I love to visit touristic places, but I think every city has some hidden gems that must be discovered, and this is what I always search for. So if I want to give you quickly like my philosophies in life, so these are parts of my YouTube channel, some of the videos I posted lately. I believe that you are all explorers in this universe, as I wrote here. It's a quote from Star Trek that I love a lot. And it's for me, yeah, we should keep on exploring, actually, every second of my life, of our lives, to keep on exploring, to collect as many beautiful moments. This is a quote from a movie called 5 to 7. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. Life is a collection of beautiful moments, and this is my purpose, is to really explore life through traveling, storytelling, reading, and I share all these on my YouTube channel through my my videos, and also on my blog and on my Instagram account, where, as you see, I have I write small stories, I share many daily posts, and all the things that happen with me on my social media. So that's it for me, enough for me. And now we are going to go to Lisbon. So just to tell you a little bit, I'm gonna just, yeah, here, we're gonna begin here. So just tell you a little bit, Lisbon, I have a special attachment to the city. First of all, is that I traveled to Lisbon about 10 or 11 years ago. So I loved the city a lot. It has so much to offer. And in this presentation, I will do my best to show you a sample of what the city has to offer. Because as you know, Lisbon is a city that has a lot to offer, and you can spend hours talking about it. But for the sake of the presentation and the time we have, I only chose samples to show you what the city has to offer. But in addition to all this, in addition that the city is so beautiful, I'm attached to it because it was the first time I go on a solo trip. So basically, Lisbon is a city that taught me how beautiful solo traveling is. Actually, I was still living in Paris. I was going back to Lebanon in a few weeks, and I wanted to travel somewhere, so I chose Lisbon. However, I didn't have any of my friends that was available to travel with me. Everyone was working. So I did many research about solo traveling, and I thought, why not, let's try it. And this is what happened. I went to Lisbon. I think I chose a great destination for a first solo trip. And it's this Lisbon that made me fall in love with solo traveling. And this is, since then, I always try to do as many solo trips as I can. So this is like quickly a bit of my story with this beautiful city. Moving on here, I'm just gonna give you some basic information about Lisbon. I think you all know them. Like, Lisbon is the capital of Portugal. You have the map of Lisbon just here to the upper right. It's about 100 square kilometers and a population of about 2,900,000 people. What I want to talk about quickly is something concerning the history of Lisbon, which is the 1755 earthquake, which is a major historical event, let's say, that happened in Lisbon. I have an illustration that I found here on Google. I put it to the bottom left. Basically, in 1755, Lisbon was devastated by a huge earthquake that destroyed many parts of this beautiful city. So the city that you see now is basically the buildings that were renovated or rebuilt. There are many buildings that are no longer the original ones that were present before the earthquake. So the earthquake had many effects on Lisbon and Portugal and also the whole European continent, because as far as I learned, and the guide told me when I was there, that it changed completely many mindsets. It affected politics, philosophy, religion, how people view life. It really affected the culture of Lisbon. I'm not going to go into details because it's not the subject of this presentation, but just to tell you that this earthquake was a major turning event in the history of the city. However, I can tell you that Lisbon was all rebuilt, as you know by now, and it can be referred to as a symbol of rebirth, and it got its charm back. Moving on, now I'm gonna be, in this section, I'm gonna be telling you a little bit about why to visit Lisbon, like some interesting Lisbon facts, before we move later to some landmarks that you can visit when you are in Lisbon. So first of all, as you see in these pictures, Lisbon has a great mixed and preserved architecture. So basically, you know, like, there are lots of cities in the world that are always moving to modern architecture, that want to progress and to innovate. However, Lisbon is a city that is taking care of its heritage, taking care of its history, and making the most to keep its history alive. As you see, it's a city that for all culture lovers, for all architecture lovers, you will be very well served in Lisbon. You have Gothic architecture, you have these painting buildings, you even have in the city Roman ruins. So you have a very diverse and mixed architecture that is so beautiful that for me, it really attracts me to this city. An example that I want to give you is this building that you see here to the upper right, which is called the Central I think it's pronounced like this, which used to be in the past an electrical power plant. However, nowadays it was transformed into a museum. So rather than destroying it and building like a modern museum, instead, they kept the same building and transformed it into a museum to show the history, part of the history of Lisbon. So basically, this is just to show you that this city is really doing the best to keep its heritage, keep its essence, and keep its identity. And this is one of the reasons I think the city is a must visit. In addition to architecture and preserved architecture, we have the traveling in time section. I call it traveling in time. Basically, you know, Lisbon is an old city. Like, it is one of the oldest cities in the world. And the pictures that you are seeing here is from a district called the Alfama district. It is one of the oldest districts, and it is said that district was not destroyed during, or the most part of it was not destroyed during the earthquake. So the buildings that you are going to see there are really original buildings that did not have to be renovated or rebuilt. So as you see in the pictures, it's as if when you are walking there, you feel as if like time stopped at some point. And when you go there, you go into a time machine and you travel back in time. The Alfama district is a great place if you want to get lost, wander around. This is something that I did because I believe that whenever you travel, if you really want to discover a city, you have to get lost in the streets. I mean, you can have a map with you, but put the map away and get lost, discover hidden gems. This is what a true traveler is actually like. Other than just visiting touristic places, go and search for these small streets where they can show you the real essence of a city. So this is why while you are walking around Lisbon, you will have this feeling of traveling back in time. In addition to all this, so beautiful architecture and history, Lisbon has a great weather. Basically, as you know, weather is very important for tourism. Like when you want to go travel, want to have nice weather. Of course, there is winter in Lisbon. However, good temperatures are present like approximately all over the year. So even if you travel, let's say in December, you can have just a light jacket on you, and you can go wander around, visit the city, and enjoy, and even have some sunny days in December. So it's not like other European cities. Lisbon has some really good weather that you can enjoy traveling to throughout the year. And since we are talking about the weather, when we go in summer, what do we want? We want to go for a swim. We want to enjoy the beaches. So we here arrived to a new fact, let's say, or to a new section of this part, that in Lisbon, there are amazing beaches that are only like 30 minutes away. Basically, the beaches that are surrounding Lisbon are one of the best beaches you can find in all of Portugal. So if you go in summer, visit this beautiful city, you cannot complete your holiday without visiting one of these beaches actually. And there are lots of types of beaches that, you know, like there are the calm family beaches, you have the surfing beaches, some wild. So it's really interesting. You have a big choice, and it's only 30 minutes away, and all of them are reachable by public transportation. So if you go in summer, make sure to go for a swim. I'm sure you are going to enjoy your time, and this is how I think your holiday is going to be complete in Lisbon. In addition to all this, so we talked about architecture, about history, about the weather, about also the beaches and the swimming. Every day in Lisbon is a walking day. As you see, Lisbon has some very beautiful streets. And as I told you before, in order to really enjoy a city, it's really important to walk around it rather than taking a car or public transportation. Even though Lisbon has some amazing public transportation, we're going to talk about it in a bit. So in order to enjoy the city, as you see here, there are lots of pedestrian streets in Lisbon. And also there are like, people there are so nice. So make sure to walk around, to go up the hills, to talk to the shopkeepers, to talk to the people, to engage in conversations. And this is how you can discover the true essence and the true beauty of the city. There are some places where you can see more people than cars. There are lots of pedestrian streets. And this is why I really encourage you to walk around the city. In addition to all this, Lisbon and all of Portugal have some really good food culture. So if you really want to try all the food, to try everything that Lisbon has to offer in gastronomy, let's say, you are going to gain lots of calories. So the best thing to do is that after you eat, you go for a walk in order to burn all the calories that you are going to be gaining. So this is why every day in Lisbon is a workout day, is a walking day, let's say. So speaking of walking in Lisbon and enjoying the views and enjoying the architecture, Lisbon is a city, you know, like whenever you travel, I know for myself, whenever I travel to any city, I really want some very amazing point of views where I can take some beautiful photographies, some beautiful images, take some selfies, you know, like all tourists do. Lisbon is surrounded by 7 hills. As you see here in this map, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. So there are 7 hills surrounding Lisbon. And what's beautiful about these hills is that all of them are reachable, so you can go, and from each hill you can get to see a different viewpoint of Lisbon. So basically it's as if you are seeing a new Lisbon depending on which hill you are on. So basically it's as if you are seeing 7 different versions of Lisbon, because it depends where you are. You are going to have a different point of view. So if you want to really enjoy the beauty, as you see in the pictures here to the bottom, Lisbon, like from these hills, you can enjoy the beautiful architecture, the Gothic architecture, the castles, the sceneries, the river, the the bridge, and also all these colored buildings. I mean, if you look at these pictures, I don't think you can have a better viewpoint of the city. So this is why I highly recommend, while walking around, walk a little more and reach some of these hills and enjoy the viewpoints that they have to offer. But in addition to all this, when walking around, you see the picture to the left here. Other than the hills, usually when walking around Lisbon, walking from a street to another, you will always have some surprises waiting for you at every corner. And these surprises are some viewpoints or hidden gems that perhaps people don't really know about. So always make sure, look around, because you will always find, you know, like this window or openings between two buildings, or opening between a building or a street, where you are going to have such a beautiful view towards the river. And everywhere in Lisbon, I walked a lot, and especially when I was going through the hills, I saw some of these beautiful viewpoints, beautiful windows or openings where you can see the river and also the bridge. So make sure to really keep your eyes open for all these surprises that you can see at every corner when you are walking around Lisbon. And here I'm going to show you just two of the viewpoints. There are 7, as I told you. I just chose 2 of them. I just chose them randomly. There isn't really a reason why I chose them. So the first one is called Miraduro das Portas do Sol. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. Basically, it's a balcony from which you can have a very amazing view towards the Alfama district, the architecture, and all these painted buildings. So when you are there, it's as if you are in a museum and looking down at the history. Actually, you are seeing history just in front of you. This is what I love about these balconies and these viewpoints. In addition to all this, you have the Castelo de São Jorge, where you can have a great view of the river, the Tagus River, with this amazing landmark, which is the bridge of the 25th of April. I'm going to be telling you about it in a bit. And what I like the most of this view is all the rooftops you can see. I mean, just look at all the rooftops. It's just amazing it's worth to go to this place just to enjoy the rooftops and this beautiful view. So in addition to the views, the architecture, the history, Lisbon is a very lively city. So I can tell you from personal experience, I spent about 5 days in Lisbon. Every night I used to go out. There were lots of people in the streets. It's very lively. It's very vibrant. People are enjoying themselves, eating in restaurants, having drinks. And in addition to all this, at night, Lisbon is really beautiful when it's all lit. I mean, look at the picture here to the upper left, or even the picture to the upper right. You know, there are lots of rooftops. You can go have a drink, eat something, and enjoy the view towards Lisbon when it's all lit. What I can give you as an advice is really, as you will walk around it during the day to enjoy it, walk around it during the night, because this is something personal. Whenever I visit any city, I always feel that any city in the world should be visited at night in order to really know the true essence of it, to enjoy it to the maximum, let's say. So go around the city, go for a pub crawl if you want to enjoy the pubs. There are many nice pubs in Lisbon. Take a drink in every pub, take something to drink, go to restaurants. There are lots of delicious food. I'm going to be talking about them a bit later. But just to tell you that the nightlife in Lisbon is really worth going out and enjoying. In addition to all this, there are lots of historical, let's say, or traditional bars that you can find mostly in the Alfama district. I'm going to be telling you about them in a bit. So here we are arriving to the traditional music of Lisbon. And just to tell you in this presentation, as Andra told you at the beginning, for those who already saw the previous presentations, I usually talk for like an hour and then we discuss. But today we decided, Andra and I, to do something special to engage with you in discussions during the presentation. So this is going to be the first stop where I'm going to be asking you if you can tell me what is the traditional music of Lisbon and what does it mean and how was it created. I'm going to stop the screen sharing and I'm going to, 1 second. I'm going to pause the recording.
One moment, Said, so we can ask everybody to mute themselves. So everybody is on mute. Okay, I will just activate the button. Thank you.
As you said, basically, fado in English, as I researched it, it means fate, and it also describes nostalgia, and mostly it was created from the sorrow, actually, and the sadness because of all the travelers and the sailors through the age of discovery who were leaving their families in order to sail the seas and discover other regions and other countries, let's say. So this is how fado was created. And here I'm going to show you a small video that explains a bit more fado and shows you a bit about fado music. I just need to,
Ici, on est à Casa de Roca, c'est une maison de fado traditionnelle à Lisbonne, dans les quartiers plus vieux de Lisbonne. C'est un bâtiment qui était la maison des comtes Lignares, une famille importante de la Moyen-Âge. Et ici, vous pouvez prendre un repas, écouter le fado et avoir une soirée intéressante.
Je m'appelle Sarah, je suis née à Lisbonne. J'ai 17 ans et je chante le fado depuis que j'ai 8 ans. Pour moi, le fado, c'est naturel. Je ne me pose pas la question. C'est plus que de la musique, c'est un état d'esprit.
Le fado, c'est une chanson de tradition au Portugal. C'est un genre de chanson qui a été commencé surtout à Lisbonne et du sud de Portugal. Aujourd'hui, c'est presque une chanson nationale. C'est toujours un genre de lamentation chantée. C'est toujours une chanson des sentiments.
Não sou novo, mas não pensas que a vida te apaga do fundo. Mas não pensas que a vida te apaga do fundo.
J'ai commencé à chanter le fado quand j'ai 4 ans, parce que mon grand-père jouait la guitare. J'ai appris avec lui. Je suis né à Lisbonne, dans un quartier peut-être le plus pauvre de Lisbonne. Et c'est une vie que j'ai donnée au fado. Et je crois que le fado m'a donné tout ceci. Le fado chante la vie des gens, mais on sent que ce qui marque plus tout le monde, c'est les choses tristes, parce que je crois que la douleur marque plus profond le cœur de tout le monde, l'âme de tout le monde. Et c'est pour ça que, et pour être aussi un peuple sentimental, que nous chantons plus des choses tristes que joyeuses.
So this was a video about fado. As you see, it's very sentimental music that represents, as he said at the end, the sentiments of this beautiful people, this beautiful Portuguese people. So this was about, as I was telling you, about the nightlife in Lisbon and the fado music. And now I'm going to move to also an interesting subject, which is the food. All I can tell you is that Lisbon is a paradise for food lovers. It's a city where you can enjoy samples of different kinds of food. You can find even traditional food from different parts and regions of Portugal. And I also met like the guide that I had in Lisbon told me that there are many restaurants also that take traditional dishes and add to them some new ingredients, some unique ingredients in order to make them a bit more modern, let's say, and more enjoyable for tourists. So as I told you, this is why it's very important to walk around Lisbon, because you are going to eat a lot and to burn all the calories. I mean, you're gonna have to walk a bit. So here I just chose three of the most particularly known food, let's say, in Lisbon that I'm going to be talking about, even though usually I don't get into the ingredients in my virtual tours, but these ones I liked a lot, so I noted down on a piece of paper. First of all, there's a pastéis de nata. I think most of you know them, that are, I'm going to quote, custard tarts, notable for their bright yellow color and creamy texture. And it is said that they were invented by monks in Belem, which is a district of Lisbon, centuries ago. It's a dessert that is a must try. And when you leave Lisbon, make sure to take as many as you can with you, because when you go back to your country, you are going to be wanting to eat from them, actually. In addition to these pastéis de nata, you also have to try everything related to seafood and the sardine, the grilled sardines, the baked sardine, because it's so delicious. I know I ate from these sardine when I was there, and I love seafood, and I was really happy in Lisbon. So for all seafood lovers, you are going to be very happy in the city. In addition to sardines, there is the bifana sandwich, which is, I'm going to tell you about it. Basically, I tried it in Lisbon, and it was one of the most delicious sandwich I ate in my life. It is made of bacon, basically, inside this bread. And this is like the traditional recipe, but there are some restaurants that add new ingredients to it, or some modern ingredients or other, but like the traditional one is the bacon inside a crispy roll, and it's one of the most known Portuguese sandwiches, let's say. And I highly recommend, if you are in Lisbon, to enjoy one of these sandwiches. You can just take one as a takeaway, so you can enjoy the taste, and while enjoying the beauty of the city, the architecture of the city, and the people of the city. It's gonna be like the best part of your holiday, I guess. In addition to all this, this is a drink that I didn't know about. I didn't try it at all when I was in Lisbon, but when I was researching to do this virtual tour, I found it online. So I noted here, it's something called gingiha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Anyway, they quote, it's made of berries with alcohol and adding sugar together with other ingredients. Anyway, it seems to be a delicious thing. As I told you, I didn't try it, but there are many shops that sell. You can just go walking around and get and take shots. You know, you see the middle picture. It's like you can drink it as a shot, and then you continue your tour of Lisbon. So this is gingiha. And in addition to this, of course, Portugal is known for its wine. I'm not an expert in wine, so I'm not going to go into details into the subject. There's also the wine of Porto. I know when I came back from Lisbon, I took some bottles of Porto wine with me to Paris. They were so delicious, and you can really enjoy, you know, these planches of charcuterie with wine. I know that I have a friend from Portugal here in Bordeaux, and whenever I go see her, she always has a bottle of Portuguese wine. It's always so delicious. So here I'm going to stop again to ask you, or perhaps someone from Lisbon or Portugal can share with us a few more facts about the wine in Portugal, a few more information, or perhaps some food that I didn't mention. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'll. Okay. So this was about food and drinks in Lisbon, and now I'm moving. It's a fact that I found out when I was researching for this virtual tour, is that it seems that in Lisbon, according to the Guinness record, there is like the oldest library which is Library Bertrand, which was built in 1732, which is this one that you see here to the left. I found it out when I was researching on Google, actually. And there seems to be also one of the smallest libraries in the whole world, Library do Simayo. So just two facts that I found interesting and I thought of putting here in my presentation. In addition to this, for all people who love street art, Lisbon is a city that is also graffiti oriented in a way, we can say. So if you love street art, you are going to find lots of graffitis on so many walls around the city. And as I say always about street art, for me, I love them a lot. It's a liberty of expression. It's a way of expression. It's something that we like mostly like in countries like France, for example. But anyways, they also represent the history and the culture of the country. You see in the picture to the upper left, for example, you have the fado music and the fado concerts that are represented in the street art. So I'm sure there are guided tours that can take you and explain to you all the street arts and where you can get to know all the secrets and the stories behind them. So this was a bit of a tour, like why you visit Lisbon and some facts about this amazing city that I love a lot. So now I'm going to show you some landmarks about Lisbon, but as I told you, it's only a sample. Lisbon has so many other places that you can visit, but you cannot show everything in this presentation. So I just shows a sample, and we're going to begin with, well, it's not really a place to visit, but I mean, it's an experience to live, which is the Tram 28. So, which is a yellow tram, actually. I think that whenever we talk about Lisbon, we talk about this classical, traditional tramway. It's like the symbol of the city. So, to go to Lisbon, spend a holiday there, I don't think your holiday can be complete without taking a ride in this tramway. And basically, this tramway takes you in different areas of Lisbon. So, wherever you are going, I think you are going to be forced in a way to take this tramway at least once or twice during your holiday. And in my opinion, even if you don't really have a destination to go to, just take this tramway and enjoy a ride around the city, because it takes you all around the beautiful historical districts of Lisbon. So it is an experience to do when you are in Lisbon, the Tram 28. Because, you know, like many other cities in the world, such tram would be in a museum now. But in Lisbon, as I told you, it's conserving and making the most, the best to keep its history. And this is one of the examples. So this was Tram 28, an experience to do. In addition to this, there's the Lisbon Cathedral that is one of the most important and iconic landmarks, let's say, and religious buildings in Lisbon. So it was built back in the year 1150, and inside it you can enjoy some very beautiful Gothic arcs, medieval statues, and the altar that is very beautifully decorated. So for all architecture, history lovers, arts lover, I think it's a place that is a must visit. I visited it, and it's really a great place. During the earthquake of 1755, many parts of this cathedral were destroyed. However, it was renovated, and during the 20th century, it was all like rebuilt, renovated completely, and it got its charm back. So it's a must visit whenever you are in Lisbon. In addition to all this, one of the most beautiful museums that I ever visited is this one, the National Coach Museum. Basically, I remember I had taken a guided tour for half a day. So basically, they took us to visit the Alfama district, Belem, and also this museum. I was very astonished and amazed by what I saw inside. As you see, inside it, you are going to see all the old and traditional vehicles, let's say, royal vehicles, the ones that were used in the past to transport royal families. And as far as the guide told me, this museum, I don't remember the name of the queen or the princess, but at some point she knew that in the future, these carriages, these vehicles won't be used anymore, and they are going to disappear. So she ordered that the museum be built so that the next generation and the future generations know how people in the past used to transport, how royal families used to go from a place another. So in this museum, I can literally tell you, you can spend hours just admiring all these beautiful vehicles, just to see all the decorations on them, like you see in the picture to the bottom right. You can just, it's really something very admiring, very beautiful to look at. And it's one of the places that are a must visit when you are in Lisbon, because it's a way of traveling back in time. It's like going inside a time machine, the National Coach Museum. In addition to all this, I just want to talk about a landmark. This is the bridge of the 25th of April bridge that I was talking about in the beginning, that you can see from one of the viewpoints towards Lisbon and the river. So it's really a huge, one of the most notable landmarks, and it's a huge engineering artifact, let's say. It connects Lisbon to the other district that is called Alameda. So it's the other side of the river facing Lisbon. It is made in a way that all cruise ships, as you see in the picture to the right, can pass underneath it. It's like 70 meters high and about 2.3 kilometers long, actually. So it's really a great landmark. And when you cross this bridge or this river, let's say either by car or by boat, I'm going to show you in the next slide, you are going to arrive to the Alameda district, which is facing Lisbon, which is here actually. So when you are in Lisbon, you can go visit the Cristo Rei, which is the statue of Christ, which is facing Lisbon if you want. So what you can do, as you see there, you have the bridge here to the right. So you can either, like, if you have a car, like cross through the bridge, or what I did is take a ferry. You know, this boat, the small boat that you see here. There are, I don't remember the price I paid, but it wasn't expensive. You just take a ferry that with it on it, you cross the bridge to the other side. And then when you arrive to the other side, you take a bus all the way up the hill. And from there, you can arrive to the statue of Christ that was built back in 1950. And from there, you can take a lift to go to the upper level, from which you can have amazing and splendid view towards the city. So basically, when you are standing just here, you can have an amazing view towards the statue of the Christ, towards the bridge, the river, and all of Lisbon. So in addition to all the 7 hills I told you about, this is also a place that you need to visit. It's really a great experience, either for religious reasons or for touristic reasons. I think it's a very nice viewpoint to visit. In addition to all these viewpoints, in another viewpoint where you can see a really great scenery of Lisbon, it is the elevator of Santa Justa, which was built in the 19th century. It's a 19th century marvel, actually, and now it's used as a viewpoint. So people or tourists from all around the world who come to Lisbon, they come here, they take the elevator, like you see in the picture to the left, up to have this amazing view, as you see in the picture here to the right. Pictures that I took from Google, and they added a balcony to it so that tourists can just stand, take pictures, and enjoy the view. Because originally this wasn't the function, it was part of the public transportation of Lisbon. It was a way to transport people from a district to another. To be honest, I don't really know how, but it was part of the public transportation, and now it is one of the most visited touristic attractions, because I can tell you during high touristic season, you can wait for 2 hours approximately before your turn arrives to take the elevator. And it costs, I wrote it down here, 5.30 euros to go all the way up. So it's also a place to visit. In addition to this, one of the historical landmarks to visit in Lisbon is the Belem Tower, which is like a tower built in the 16th century that was used to defend the city. You can visit inside it. It's really amazing. You can see the beautiful architecture, the windows, the decoration. It's really amazing. And plus, inside it, when you visit, you will see watchtowers and battlements. Just to tell you that all these places that I'm telling you about, you can either visit them by yourselves or also, as I did, take guided tours. And when you take guided tours, of course, it's going to be cheaper for you. I used to take like a half a day or a full day guided tour, where included in the price, there's access to many museums, to the Belem Tower, with a guide that explains everything. So I think it would be better, but of course it all depends on the time that you have to spend when you are there. In addition to all this, one important landmark to visit also is the monastery Mosteiro dos Jerónimos. So basically, it was also built in the 16th century, and it is related to the age of discovery. I visited this amazing place with a guide also, and inside it you are going to be amazed by all the beautiful architecture, all the Gothic architecture, these arcs inside. So as I told you before, for all architecture lovers, you are going to be served. It's a place that you can spend hours just looking at the decoration and the architecture. But this place, as I told you, is very related. Just it was built by King Manuel I. It is related to the age of discovery. Age of discovery, it's when we say when the sailors were leaving Lisbon and Portugal in order to discover new countries. So here I'm gonna stop. This is the last time I stop this presentation, because to ask you, these guys that I have here in the picture to the right, if you know who this guy is and what is the relation between this person and this monastery. I'm gonna keep it for just a few seconds if you wanna see the picture. So moving on, here I just want to talk to you very quickly about Rio Augusta and the Square de Comercio, which is this one that you see here to the right, actually. Facing the square, I didn't put a picture, like to the other side, you can have a view towards the sea, and you have the Arch of Triumph here, and just behind it, you have this street that you see to the upper right, which is Rio Augusta, and basically it's like a huge pedestrian street. Inside it, like it's one of the biggest pedestrian streets of Lisbon, in which you are going to see many bars, many restaurants, many coffee shops. I know I spent lots of my time there. Should it be during the day or during the night, I really enjoyed my time there. So you have many shops to buy clothes, to do shoppings. It's a place that you have to be, and I think wherever you are going to in Lisbon, you are going to have to pass by the street Rio Augusta. Here I'm gonna show you a quick video just about Lisbon before I move to the last part of my presentation. Where was it? Yeah, Lisbon time lapse. So just a video to show you a bit of like everything I was telling you about now, just to show you the area. Just a second. So here it is. What I liked about this video mostly is that it shows how life is going in the city. You see all the tramways, you see people moving, and you see the city at night. As I told you, it's so amazing at night. So now I arrived to the last part of my presentation. It's not gonna take long. Just to tell you that surrounding Lisbon, there are lots of places that are a must visit if you are in Lisbon and you have time. One of them is this beautiful UNESCO World Heritage Village called Sintra. And if you want to visit these places, there are public transportations like trains that go there. But for me, what I did is that I took a guided tour of a whole day that took us to all the places that I'm going to show you now in this last part of the presentation. So Sintra is, as I told you, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Village. You see the beautiful sceneries. There are amazing castles, amazing cobblestone streets, the colored buildings. When you are there, you travel in time. You are amazed by all the magnificent, natural sceneries, nature, all these small streets. If you want to buy souvenirs, it's a great place to buy souvenir from Lisbon and from Portugal. So in my opinion, it's really a must visit if you are in Lisbon. This is how the surrounding areas are going to complete your beautiful holiday. In addition to Sintra, you have to visit also, and it was also during my one-day guided tour, Cabo Da Roca, where the land ends and the sea begins. Basically, as you see, Cabo Da Roca is said to be the westernmost point of mainland Europe. So as you see in the map here, it's a bit small. Basically, if you see the map of Europe, it's like the place of the map of Europe where the land goes the most in the Atlantic Ocean, if you see what I mean. So basically, it's like the westernmost point of mainland Europe inside the Atlantic Ocean. Until the 14th century, this is a fact I found out when I was researching for the presentation. This place, Cabo Da Roca, was thought to be the edge of the world. So basically, people used to think that this is where the world ends, and this is, I think, why it has this name, where the land ends and sea begins. There are amazing cliffs, and from here you can have amazing view towards the ocean. These cliffs are like 150 meters higher than the ocean. It is a must visit place. There's a lighthouse, and there's also a shop where you can buy souvenirs. In addition to all this, I want to point out that place, if you are also interested in religious tourism, you can visit the monastery of Our Lady of Fatima that was built back in 1953. It's about, I don't remember right, I remember right, I think it's like 1 hour and a half or 2 hours by bus from Lisbon, and it is one of the biggest pilgrimage sites in Portugal and also in all of Europe. So this was for the surrounding areas of Lisbon. So here, just because I told you I traveled to Lisbon, so I'm going to show you just a few pictures, because at the time I didn't have some quality pictures, but I didn't have the phone that I have nowadays. But just to show you some pictures. So here to the top left, it's when I was in Sintra. Here, when I was in Cabo Da Roca, and during my trip, I met other travelers from Japan. We became friends, and yeah, we visited many parts of the city together. It was one of the most amazing things about solo traveling. Here, this is in the Alfama district when I was in taking the guided tour. I'm not gonna go into details about my personal trip to Lisbon. I can tell you, the picture here to the top right, it's where I got my most amazing souvenir from Lisbon. I bought many souvenirs, but this painting was the most amazing one. But I'm not gonna go into details. If you want to know more about my personal trip to Lisbon, I will send you the link later. On my website, I wrote an article called How I Fell in Love with Lisbon. It's an article where it's not a virtual tour of Lisbon, it's where I talk about my personal experience with the city and how I spent 4 or 5 days and fell in love with the city and got the most beautiful experiences as a solo traveler. In addition to this, I have a YouTube video about my trip to Lisbon, my personal trip, that you can see. I'm gonna be sending you all these links after the presentation is finished. Basically, it's approximately finished. I still have few things to tell you now. So to finish up, Lisbon is a city that is a must visit. I traveled there about 11 years ago, but until today, I don't forget the amazing times I spent there, the amazing experiences. So go there and discover Lisbon by yourself and create your own story about this magnificent city, because I can tell you, when you leave Lisbon, even if many years pass, you are always going to have this small thing feeling attached to you always, that will remind you of the beautiful streets and the beautiful experiences you are going to live to experience when you are there. So now this was the end of the presentation. I still have just 2 things to tell you and the last small video, and then we go to Q&As. For my upcoming presentations, so on Monday there's a virtual tour of Lebanon on Monday at 8 p.m. Europe time. And then on Friday, I have an event with Andra about solo traveling, why solo traveling is the most liberating experience. There won't be a big presentation like today. I'm going to speak for only 20-25 minutes. And then we are going to have breakout rooms and discuss solo traveling. And on the Monday after, Monday 15, I will have a virtual tour of Italy from the north to the south about my personal experiences in Italy. This is an official event open for basic members. And also this event for solo traveling is also open for basic members because it's on an online group. So before I show you the last video, I just want to tell you, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, I would really be grateful. And of course, if you like my content, I would be grateful if you could subscribe to it. And let us stay in touch. I will send you all my contact information, my WhatsApp number. As I told you, I love discussing with people, talking about different subjects. And if you have any idea in your mind that you want me to do a video about, should it be traveling, spirituality, a book that you want me to review, I review books on my channel also, let me know about them. More importantly is that on my channel now for 2021, I plan to shed the light on beautiful and inspirational stories. So if you have any beautiful story you want to tell, inspirational story, self-development, something beautiful that you want to share with people, I would be happy to listen to your story and to do a video about it. I already have 3 people that I'm going to be interviewing in the next day, and they are going to be on my YouTube channel. So let me know if you have any stories that you would like share. So now I'm going to show you one last video for 1 minute of Lisbon, and we'll go to the discussions. Just a sec. And here it is. And that was it. So make sure to put Lisbon on your